Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on KUTV Primetime News. Now, graduating from the institutions of higher learning is all fun and games until you realize that it's now time to go out and get a job. Many scholars were recently confirmed with various degrees and diplomas from the country and beyond. Although we are on the festive moods, as soon as the year flips, reality checks in. That forms the basis of our discussion tonight. What next after graduation? We are joined by Austin Omanya, who is a senior lecturer at KCA University and also a mentor to help us tackle the question. So, Austin, thank you so much for making time for this discussion.
Thank you so much.
Right, now into the discussion of the night. We have had students graduating in various institutions of higher learning. What is the very first step that a fresh graduate should take in life after graduating?
Very good. Thank you so much. Graduating is so good. During graduation, everything is so fine. You take selfies and you go home. But immediately after graduation, you need to now to put your house in order.
Right.
And putting your house in order means you have to get your CV, you start branding, now you start networking outside there, and then you start moving forward. Because if, let's say, you've done economics, you have to start looking at companies that may be probably hiring students who have done economics.
Right.
All right? Then, after that, you are good to go. But immediately after graduation, you need to take a break.
Right.
And start thinking, cogitating, what is the next step? And this is now where you also need a lot of guidance.
Right. Now, probably when you're saying you need to take a break, could it be that now that for the very fresh graduates you've had, because they have just graduated and went for the festive seasons, have they passed the first step of taking a break?
I think that is okay.
Sure.
Let them go for the festive seasons. But bearing in mind that when January 2022 dawns, you need to keep moving.
Sure.
So right now, before you go, you travel home, at least make sure you put your house in order so that by January 2022, you hit the road.
Right. Now, another very important thing, Austin, that I would really want to ask is that the societal expectations that immediately you graduate, you should now be getting a job. And we have a problem of, youth unemployment in the country. It continues to be, a thorn in the flesh.
Yes.
So how do fresh graduates go about this reality? Because it is a reality that youth unemployment is a problem in the country. How will they go about this reality?
It is very true. Right now, if you look at the statistics, 7.2% are unemployed.
Sure.
And the society expects you that, after you graduate, you get a job. They get it wrong. Because the government itself cannot employ the more than 100,000 young people graduating from universities every year. Majority of them are being absorbed in the private sector. But again, private sector cannot also accommodate everyone. Maybe they can accommodate 30%. Where are the other 70%? That means, as a graduate, I have to start thinking outside the box. What else can I do? Yes, I have to start thinking about entrepreneurship. I have to start thinking about internship. Where can I go volunteer my services? Even if it is for free, please go volunteer. Because through voluntary, you'll get a job.
Right.
Yes, Rome was not built in a day. You have to start somewhere. This notion whereby you think that after getting that degree, you have the mandate and all the keys to open the world to get employment, that notion should be done away with.
Right.
It is old. All right? So immediately after graduating, please learn to volunteer. Find somewhere where you can even do internship. All right? Get the experience, get the skills. Then that skill will make you be employed somewhere tomorrow.
Now, probably in trying to curb the unemployment menace, the government promised that every year, the Jubilee government promised that every year they will be creating employment opportunities for 1 million, creating 1 million job opportunities. And we could say that they have tried to deliver because from the statistics we had in 2021, the government had, created about 600,000 jobs. Do you think the government is doing enough in terms of policy making to create jobs and, to end the menace of unemployment, youth unemployment in the country?
Partly, I think the government is trying, but it has not even reached 50%, which means young people outside there are still hovering jobless. Why? Because anytime, I normally tell young people that anytime you want to rely on the government, I think when the first time we are joining universities, we are supposed to, whenever we are getting out now, we are supposed to ask ourselves, what are we going to do to the government? Not what is the government doing to us? Because this notion of what is the government doing for us, I think it has really made us cry about the government. Oh, Sirikali, Saidia. That notion should be out of bounds right now. Because the government, the Jubilee government promised, yes, but let me tell you, as things stand, they didn't even achieve 50%.
Sure.
Yes, they are really trying. Even the other day, on 11th November, that was last month, you saw Gideon Keter went with a bill in Parliament that, we are supposed now to wrap out this, because the stumble blocks, especially when you're looking for employment. The issues, KRA, police,
Clearance
those things, a lot of requirements. So the government has not yet achieved that.
All right.
And they are supposed to encourage now youth to also to look at the other side of self-employment.
Right.
Yes.
Now, probably the job dynamics, the working dynamics have really changed with the time. And big companies we've seen like Google trying to say that they shall be employing people based on their, their experience, based on what the productivity, what you can do, than what you have in your papers. How should graduates prepare for this? That, probably when they go to other sectors of employment, they might be considered based on the productivity, based on what they can do, but not the papers necessarily. How should the fresh graduates prepare for this?
Thank you for that. I think this is now a major challenge. Because I normally see most jobs, they will require 5 years experience, 3 years experience, 10 years experience, and you're a fresh graduate. What do you do? The world is becoming a bit technical. Why? Because one, if we can realize that the job scenario is changing, it is very dynamic. It is changing from the old system now to the new system. Then, as a graduate, I'm supposed to do something. What am I supposed to do? You can shape your skills. You see, let's say you have done HR. You have done HR,
right.
Human resource. Do you know there's a professional course called CHRP? Yes? If you have done accounts or maybe finance, do you know you can do CPA so that you can attach it to a professional course for that matter. So you need to upgrade your game such that you don't stop somewhere. Now that I've done BCom, I stop there. You'll be like any other person.
Sure.
For you to be able to stand out among the rest, you have to be extraordinary.
Sure.
Don't be an ordinary person. An ordinary person thinks that getting a degree now will give you a mandate to get any job. No, go an extra mile.
Right.
Do something. And nowadays, there are short courses you can do. There are even online courses, actually, you can do without even paying a single cent. Right. And you get that certificate. Do you know in an interview, you can beat everyone just because of that simple certificate.
Right.
Just give me maybe 2 seconds to explain this.
Yeah.
I didn't do marketing, but I decided to join the Marketing Society of Kenya, MSK. Do you know, by just registering with that body, it gave me a job. Right. In an interview this year, when they were looking at the CVs and they were asking, they wanted somebody who was registered with a professional body. Imagine, I was the only person who had registered with a professional body. Now you see, don't stop there. Guys, learning is a process. Yes, getting a degree. What else? If everybody, 10,000 people who graduated in your school got that degree, yes, then what is going to make you outstand in those 10,000 resumes?
Right.
What is going to make you? That is what I'm talking about.
Right.
So young people have to wake up and do something.
Very, very, very interesting. Now, another thing probably, maybe as we try to wind up this, we've seen people, working in a different profession, a different line from what they studied in, what they pursued professionally. Now, that means that there are possibilities that for the fresh graduates, whatever they had pursued as a degree or as a diploma, they might not end up pursuing that in life. So it is a reality that they should get to know. Probably, what can you tell them concerning this?
Just repeat your question. I need to get it clear.
Right. Now,
Yeah?
what I'm saying is,
Yes.
you find that in the job market,
Yes.
you'll find someone probably working in the bank, but he didn't do anything that pertains to banking. It's probably a teacher. So what should the fresh graduates know pertaining to this? Because they might really focus on trying to get a job from what they studied, but in life, probably they'll end up doing something very different.
Thank you so much. That is a wonderful question. Practically, I did teaching. All right, or maybe I'm a lecturer, but practically I did teaching. I should be teaching in high school, all right? Career is dynamic. And anytime you want to go far, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I love people who will go an extra mile to try new things out, okay? I've seen my friends who were working in the banks. There was a story that was trending just the other day. A friend who was working in the bank like Airtel, he did finance. This guy has ventured into agriculture. He's doing a lot of crop farming right now, and is even doing better.
Right.
It means I don't need to say like, I did economics. I must get a job related to economics. All right? Let us be young people who will always do something extra. Something extra means career is dynamic. If today I've pursued maybe marketing and I can't get a marketing related job, and maybe I have an opportunity to be employed, maybe let's say in procurement department, learn something there. Can I tell you a very serious story? I was called to do some training, and apparently I was asked, they wanted somebody who has done business and ICT. And you see, I've done business. I need to do ICT.
All right.
Then I'm like, yes, I can do it. All right? Then I was sent the syllabus, the course outline, and the content. And I was like, what? The ICT now? Do you know Google was my best teacher? I could go sit on my computer, learn the whole night, and then making notes.
Interesting.
When I go to class, I don't even need to open a book. And the students were like, what? We have never met such a teacher. You see?
Right.
Because if you can't take that challenge, then you are not going to learn. By the way, through that class, it really pushed me to learn things that I could have not learned in life if I could have stuck with my career.
Right.
My line of profession. So can we be, can we embrace change? Because the trend is changing.
Right.
You may not get what you pursued
Sure.
in the university,
Right.
but you can do something that can make a difference. I love problem solvers,
Right.
and I'm saying if you are a problem solver, then you are a millionaire.
Great. Now, Austin, probably as we wind up because of time,
Yes.
what could be your final words to the fresh graduates, and probably for someone who may want to, have you word on word with you one-on-one, how could they find you on the camera kindly?
Okay, thank you so much. I do mentorship program. I'm a life coach. And if you go to my YouTube, that is Mentor Austin Omanya, you'll get me there. And there's a lot of stuff I've done there, especially based on career. I've done a lot of stuff there. I've done a lot of trainings there. Right now, I'm based at EP Empara Plaza. Actually the training officer of Kenya Institute Management. You'll get me there full time. In case you want, book me, please. Just you can reach me on social media. I'll be able to respond, and then I help you work one-on-one. I know this session could have been very short, but let me tell you something. The only 3 P's that are going to make a difference in your life, if you realize, is number 1, purpose, number 2, possibility, number 3, potential. If you recognize these things in your life, I'm telling you, you are going to make a huge difference in the society. And let me advise you outside there, till you become a problem solver, then you'll still remain where you are. I want us to have a different mindset when we are going to 2022, and let us start thinking like problem solvers. And I know you are one of them. See you later. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Austin, for that. Now, we're taking another very short break here on KUTV Primetime News. The moment shall be coming back with sports news. Stay with us.